All right, and again, I'd like to congratulate Mr. Medina. It's the first time I'm glad Mr. Lair explained that. I didn't realize it was a 3-year term. I would have thought next year you would have been up. But congratulations. And I apologize for Sal letting you know where we're getting all the information from. I'm sure you're going to take a lot of heat from the administration on account of that, but okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Nemitz?
Esther Nemitz, 162B Fay Street. 669. I was very happy to see that John is definitely going to be reappointed. I was surprised that it was a 3-year term. I didn't know that. I just thought once he was here, he was here. So congratulations. 649 and 650, the two grants that are being applied for the Neighborhood Preservation Program. As an active member of the neighborhood program, I certainly support these. I think it's very commendable that we've actually gotten to the point that we have some households that we can assist with the rehabilitation funds. So I'm very happy about that. And with respect to COA, I did raise some issues at the planning board that I had some concern about. And I'm not going to repeat them here because I know that Mr. Lehrer was there and made note of that. I do agree with the method that they have used to approach how to come up with affordable housing, which is to make use of our rental stock. I hope that that is going to work well. And that's my comment about that. One last thing about Amboy Avenue. For anyone who has not yet traveled on Amboy Avenue during the holiday season, I really suggest that everybody go and look at the wonderful job that the Neighborhood Preservation Program group did in the decorations on the street. Every single street light has a Santa Claus on either side of it that they cut out, painted, installed themselves with nice lights. The street really looks very lovely. And they should be commended. We have a very active group there, and they're really making a contribution. So I certainly wish everybody a happy holiday, and that's one way to enjoy the holiday. Our tree looks great there, too. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else on the consent agenda?
Council President, just as a point of clarity, 649 and 650, those two grants have been received, but we're not applying for them. We received them.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Anything polled? I'll start to my left. Councilwoman Sigliano?
Yes, Council President. 640, 641,
Hold on. Yes, ma'am.
648,
Yes, ma'am.
649,
Mm-hmm.
650, 662,
Mm-hmm.
669,
Mm-hmm.
and 671.
Okay. Councilwoman Pearlstein?
None at this time.
Council Vice President?
643.
Okay. Anything else, sir?
No, that's it.
Councilman Massaro?
640 and 648.
Councilwoman Griffin-Usack?
No.
Okay. Madam Clerk, would you read that?
Sure. Consent agenda will consist of all resolutions excluding 640, 641, 643, 648, 649, 650, 662, 669, and 671.
Okay. Motion to adopt the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Griffin-Usack?
Yes.
Councilmember Mascola?
Yes.
Councilmember Mazzaro?
Yes.
Councilmember Pearlstein?
Yes.
Councilmember Sigliano?
Yes.
Council President Deal?
Yes. Councilwoman Sigliano, 640?
Yes, Council President, 640 and 648. May I discuss them at the same time?
Sure.
Okay, only because I know all of us have had concerns about these particular resolutions. I do not want to put the township at risk for a builder's remedy. We've been hit with that once before, but I am most unhappy and really I can't understand why, if we are part of a lawsuit, why we can't hold up on this. I mean, I understand they have rules, but at some point, their rules are really infringing on the rights of the residents of this township. And I really resent that. And when I said before, let's see what we could do to get rid of COA, really, I'll be the first in line, quite seriously. I'll have to vote for these because I don't want to put us at risk, but I want it noted that I am extremely unhappy about it. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilman Massaro?
Thank you, sir. 640 and 648, as Councilwoman Resigliano did, I'd like to speak about them in tandem. This is about where we began this combined session, and I think this came up somewhere around 8 o'clock when Mrs. Bishop made a presentation to us, very consistent with what she said to the planning board on the 15th. I've been told that when I got into elected office, there would be times when I have to vote on things and hold my nose. Well, this is one of those items. I vote on these holding my nose, and I did suggest at the beginning of this session that we alter Resolution 640 and we alter Resolution 648. And I suggested that we alter them by including the language in there that without prejudice to any subsequent litigation, without prejudice to any subsequent legislation, without prejudice to anything else that might happen in the future, that we were approving this resolution. One resolution is to comply with the housing plan, and the other one is even more worrisome to me. And that one is that it says there's language in the resolution to the effect that it talks about bonding. And to the extent that's required by law, we would have to go down the road for bonding. And we express our intent that we would issue bonds if there were no other resources available consistent with law. That's worrisome. The only good news about that is I'm not so sure that there would be council members sitting here, if and when that time came, that would vote for bonding no matter what it said. But taking Mr. Lair's advice, and that's advice offered very soberly and very seriously, that we not alter the content of the resolution, but rather send a letter to that effect. I will go along with his advice, and knowing that he's putting his reputation singularly on the line. Correct, Mr. Lair? With that one. I mean, that's not something he does lightly. So I would like to see that language included in there without prejudice. I'd like to see it put on the record that any litigation, any law, any legislation, or any alterations of the way COA does business, this is done without prejudice to those items. And language to the resolutions notwithstanding. Any other way, Mr. Lair, you could figure out to say those things. And just as a sideline to this, one of the other items we've been talking about all evening long, interchanged with all of these issues, is the idea about combined meetings. This is really these two resolutions are unfortunate victims to the combined meeting syndrome, in that there has been conversation about this over time in these chambers, but not on point with these resolutions. And if there had been more time, then some of the memos that we as council members have received on this would be available to you. Because the way I understand it, after we talk about these items here, maybe we could rip off the top of it, rip off the part that says confidential and what does it say, privileged and confidential, and it would be available to the public, and that might have provided more input from the public. But that's a whole nother issue. But Mr. Lair, before that letter goes, is there any opportunity for council members to see a draft of it?
Sure.
I mean, I'm not an attorney, but I fancy myself as something of a wordsmith, and I would feel comfortable. I think each council member would feel comfortable, because this is a big leap, and I don't believe anybody's taking a vote on this lightly, and anyone's doing this because they want to.
Absolutely.
So we could take a look at that, sir.
Yep.
That's all, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Then if we could, let's have a motion for 640 and 648 together. Do we have a motion to do that?
So moved.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Griffin-Usack?
Yes.
Councilmember Mascola?
Yes.
Councilmember Massaro?
With grave reservation, yes.
Councilmember Perelstein?
Yes.
Councilmember Sigliano?
Yes.
Council President Deal.
Yes.